So here we go. This is from the 2010 AP exam. Question 2, calculator active. It didn't look exactly like this. This is reformatted, but that's fine. It says, a zoo sponsored a one-day contest to name a new baby elephant. Zoo visitors deposited entries in a special box between noon, t equals 0, and 8 p.m., t equals 8. The number of entries in the box, t hours after noon, is modeled by a differential function e for between 0 and 8. Values of e in hundreds of entries at various times t are shown in the table. So does everyone understand the context of the problem? There's a baby elephant. They're going to name them. There's a box, and people are just dropping possible names. They're dropping entries. Does that make sense? All right. So there it is, E of t in hundreds. It says use the data in the table to approximate the rate in hundreds of entries per hour at which entries were being deposited at t equals 6. Show the computations that lead to your answer. All right, guys, when you guys get this question on your flashcards, because I've noticed that we're not getting those correct, here's what you do. 6 is right between 5 and 7. You're using these values to approximate what E prime of 6 is going to be, because that's what they want. The approximate, use the data on the table to approximate the rate in hundreds of entries per hour. Look, that's a unit, hundreds of entries per hour. See, so you have to do, it's just the rate of change. The 6 is between the 5 and 7, so you're doing this. You're going to go E of 7 minus E of 5 divided by 7 minus 5. So there it is. That's the approximate, whatever this is. So I'm going to go 21 minus 13 over 7 minus 5. Let's see. 21 minus 13, 7, 8. 8 over 2. So it looks like 4 hundreds of entries per hour. Let me know. I make mistakes. Are we okay with that, guys? Can we do that? Okay. Please, please, please get those correct. We need to start increasing our percentages, please, guys. Letter B. Use a trapezoidal sum with 4 subintervals given by the table to approximate the value 1/8 integral 0 to 8 of E of t dt. Using correct units, explain the meaning of 1/8, 0 to 8 E of t dt in terms of the number of entries. Okay? So let's first worry about this. So I'm going to write 1/8 integral 0 to 8 of E of t dt. I'm going to put, if you have different colored pens, I'm going to put a parenthesis around this, like that, because that's what I'm going to use the table for, to figure out what that is. They want me to use what method? Trapezoidal. So here we go. I'm going to write equals 1/8. I'm going to put my blue ink. Boom. And here it is. If I'm going to use a trapezoid, let me see how many trapezoids I got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Did they say 4 trapezoids, or did this? Yeah, 4 subintervals. All right. The y value is the base of your trapezoid. So here it is. I'm going to zoom out. 0, little parenthesis. Let me go back to red, because that's what I have in the inside. Little parenthesis, 0 plus 4, close. The height of your trapezoid is a delta x times 2 divided by 2. That's how you find area of a trapezoid. Base 1 plus base 2 times height divided by 2. Does that make sense, guys? All right, I'm going to go plus, and I'm going to go 4 plus 13 times, what's the difference between 5 and 2? 3 divided by 2 plus another one. Oh, man. Am I going to have enough space to do all 4 of them right there? 13 plus 21 times, what's the difference between 5 and 7? 2 divided by 2 plus, and sorry that I ran out of space here, guys. Try to do it in one nice pretty line. 21 plus 23 times 1 divided by 2. And I'm going to close the parenthesis. You do have colored ink. When you take the AP exam, you're going to have black and blue ink, and you have a pencil. So technically you have 3 colors if you want to look at it that way. Use your tools, guys. Use your tools. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go 1/8. And then giant parenthesis again. And I'm going to add this up with a calculator. So let's see. 4. The 2's cancel out. That's just 4. Plus 13 plus 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, 17. Times 3 divided by 2. I don't know, some number. Someone hook me up with that number. Plus 2's cancel out. 21, 31, 34. Plus 23, 33, 43, 44 divided by 2, 22. I make mistakes, so let me know if I made a mistake. What's the one that I missed here, guys? What number is that? What is it? 20. Let me write it in red. 25.5. Assuming we did everything correct, go ahead and add them all up and divide by 8. What do you get? All right. And they want units. So let's see. Well, I guess here's where it says using correct units. So using correct units, explain the meaning of. So what is this? We covered it yesterday a little bit. What is that? Why do I have a 1/8 in the front? What do you think that 1/8 comes from? You guys know? Well, guys, take a guess. What do you think it is? Yeah, the 8 is the hours. So what is the 1/8 integral 0 to 8 of e of t? But there's a specific word starts with the letter A. No, not area. We did it yesterday, guys. Yeah, what is it? The average. It's the average of e of t. This is why, guys, did we do it yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago. This is why we do what we do, guys, so we can make sure that we know. This is the average of e of t. And you're right. So area under this curve, hundreds of entries times hours, that's just hundreds of entries. But then you're dividing by 8 hours, so it's going to be hundreds of entries per hour. It's the average. It's the average of e of t. So I'm going to write, what am I going to write? I'm going to write average entries per hour is 10.6875 average hundreds of entries. Hundreds of entries per hour. I wonder if they're going to have 1,060. That's perfect right there. We'll look at the rubric in a little bit. I haven't looked at it yet, guys. I don't like to look at the rubric because then I get affected by it. Are we still okay? Okay, let's go to the next one. Letter C. At 8 p.m., volunteers begin to process the entries. Okay, at 8 p.m., that's when the park closes or whatever. They process the entries at a rate modeled by the function P. Okay, so this is my rate. Hundreds of entries per hour between 8 and 12. According to the model, how many entries had not yet been processed by midnight? I love it. I love it. Hopefully, it may not be straightforward yet to you, but hopefully with practice, it becomes straightforward. Let the units help you out. All they want to know is how many entries are left that have not been processed. How many are not yet processed by midnight? Okay. So I have, let me make sure that I understand, hundreds of entries. So this is how many entries I have at hour 8. And they want to know how many entries have not been processed by midnight. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go, let's see, I'm going to go 23. That's how many entries I have total, minus the integral of P of t dt from 8 to 12. So let me see if I can help you guys with this. Let me make sure that I understand. Hold on, guys. Values of E of t and hundreds of entries at various times C are shown above. As both sponsored users deposit entries in a special box. A number of entries in the box. Yeah, okay, we got it. All right. Let me help you. Let the units help you guys. I know. We're so early. That 23 is how many entries are in the box. This P of t is the rate at which they're being processed in entries per hour. So area under this curve, look, entries per hour times hours is entries that they've been processed. Do you guys see that? So 23 minus how many have been processed is going to give me the total that have not been processed. Does that make sense to you logically? Yeah, there it is. Just use logic, guys. Just use logic. All right, so there it is. I'm going to erase this little thing there. It looks like it could be possibly. All right, take your calculator and go 23 minus, and I don't know what that is. You know what? I would probably done it in one step. So put this into your y2. Wait, do we have anything in y1? No, right? Type that into y1. T cubed minus 30 t squared plus 298 t minus 976. Okay. I already forgot it. Lack of sleep. What's the equation? Okay, t cubed. Minus 30t squared. Okay. Plus 298. T. Okay. Minus 976. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, here you go, guys. I'm just going to go to the home screen, and I'm just going to literally just type. I'm literally going to type this exactly verbatim. So I'm going to go 23 minus math number 9 from 8 to 12, because that's the time. 8 to 12, and then I'm going to go alpha trace y1, and I'm going to push X, and I'm going to push enter. Oh, I wasn't expecting it to be a pretty number. It's just a flat 7. They're being nice to us. I was expecting a decimal. 700 entries left. 700 entries left. You can just literally type 700 and put entries if you want, but I'm using their language. I'm assuming that's what the rubric will probably have. Maybe I'll have 700. We'll find out right now. We're done. Let's look at letter D. Do we have any questions on any of this, anything so far? For real, like nothing's like you can ask me anything. Well, what's related to this question, of course. Okay. All right, here we go. Last one. According to the model from part C, at what time were the entries being processed most quickly? Justify your answer. I love it. They're asking for a max. They're asking for when is the number of entries being processed the fastest? They're asking for max of P of T. They're asking for max of P of T. Anytime they ask for a max or a min, in my opinion, the best route is a table. That is a justification of table. So what we need first to do, this is probably a point. How do I need to get candidates for possible maxes. So how do I get candidates for possible maxes? I take a what? Derivative. So this right here, I'm going to take a guess. That right there, just saying that might be a point. Maybe. Because those are possible candidates. Possible candidates for max. Now, don't write this down just write this on the exam. This is for your notes, right? So here we go. And you're going to test your endpoints. I'm going to write T, and I'm going to write P of T, because that's the max there. 8, and then let's find our candidates. Let's find the candidates. So I'm going to take a derivative. So I already have it in Y1. This one is easy enough that you could take a derivative by hand, but I'm just going to go like this. I'm going to turn off Y1. Chop, how do you turn off Y1? Just push enter. And I'm a Y2. I'm going to go math number 8, X, and then I'm going to put Y1 in there. Alpha trace Y1, and then just put at X equals X. It's going to be kind of slow, but not super, super slow. Don't push graph yet. Click window. And you're going to go from 8 to 12, because that's when they're processing the entries. So you're only going to have a max somewhere in between there. You could leave it as negative 10 to 10, because you're looking where you cross the x-axis. But I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to go negative 1 to 1. I like to zoom in. And let's find out. Graph. You have two critical numbers. You should state both of them, but only one you're going to test. You're going to test the one on the left, because that's the one that's going from positive to negative. The one on the right, is the one on the right a maximum? No, it's a min. So just state that on the table that it's a min. So find those. So I'm going to go second calculate. I'm going to go number 2, max. Come on, buddy. 2. And then it says left bound. Where are you? I went to 8. Hold on, the mouse keeps going in and out. There you are. Enter. Right bound. Enter. Guess. There it is. 9.18350. I'm going to store that, guys. I like to go in alphabetical order. I'm not going to store it to A. And, I didn't even say what. Go to, right? X, alpha, X, outstore, alpha A. And let's check. 9.1835. So So I'm going to put that in here. 9.1835. And I'm going to find the other one, but I don't care about the other one, but I am going to find it just to let the reader know that these are where it's 0. 0. And you can type numbers if you want to in here. You could also do this with Desmos, but I don't know if you can store on Desmos. I don't know if you'll have that feature available. 10.8164. So I would use the calculator, guys. 10.8164. And then I'm just going to say min. So I'm not going to even bother finding that one. And then 12. All right, at 8, I know how many there are at 8. At 8, there's 23. 23. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Let me turn it off. All right, let's find it at 9.1835. So, if I can quit. Actually, let me read it again. What time are the entries being processed most quickly? Nope, it's not 23. That's how many entries there are. P of 8. P of 8 equals, it's a small error, guys. Look, we fixed it. We didn't even talk about it. Second trace Y1 of 8. And that is, 0. I didn't know. 0. Is that Y1? Yep, that's Y1, 0. All right, Y1 of A. They want to know when it's being processed the quickest, so we're plugging into Y1. 5.088. 5.088. We're not going to try that one. Now we just try the 12 because it's possible it could be an endpoint. Yeah, I would assume this is probably going to be, because you get really good at processing entries the more you do it, right? The more you do something. There it is. It's that one. It's that one. That's when you're processing the entries the fastest. So you're going to say, according to the model, at what time were the entries being processed most quickly? I'm going to use their language. Entries are being processed most quickly at t equals 12. If you want, you can say it's processing 800 entries per hour at t equals 12, but my justification is the table. Does that make sense? And I think we're good. What year was this? Okay, let's do it. 2010. Math Life, Calculus, College Board, free response. Oh, this is, by the way, this is AB and BC. So BC, this is the same one that's on your a BC exam as AB. So I just took out the BC one, BC rubric, just for kicks. And number 2. Oh, that's the question, not the rubric. Scoring guidelines. 2010. All right, here we go. Let's see. 1 point for the answer, 400 entries per hour. Did we get that point? All right, letter B. If you did trapezoidal sum, they give you a point. The approximation, they give you a point, meaning 1/8 integral 0 to E ET is the average number of hundreds of entries in the box between noon and 8 p.m. Did we get 10.687 or 10.688? There it is. We got it on 3 points. Letter B. Yeah, all of them are going to look exactly the same. The only difference that I see here, maybe you do the integral first, and then the second step would be 23 minus the integral. But for all of you, all of them are going to look the same because it's just number minus the entries that you processed. So there it is, 2 points. And look, letter D, they did the exact same thing. But what did we do that they did? They found P prime of 10. You don't have to find it because we already knew that was the minimum. Just make sure you put in a table that it's a minimum. That's why we didn't bother. Does that make sense? And then look, entries are being processed most quickly at time t equals 12. Done. There it is, guys. We did it all. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So those are all your 9 points. How are we feeling? Are we happy that we did this one free response question today? All right, that's it. We're not doing anything else, guys. So please work on your flashcards. Please work on your stuff. What's up, guys? Okay. The letter D? Okay, yeah, let's talk about it. All right, so help me help you. According to the model, so let's look at the question. At what time were the entries being processed most quickly? Well, the entries they want to know. So the question they want to know is when is P of T a max? Because this is the number of entries. Look what it says here. They process the entries at a rate modeled by the function P of T.
Why do we do the table? Why not just do the number line and find out what it's coming?
Because it's possible that I can have a max min at the endpoints. So I can't do a number line because that would just give me local max and min. They want the absolute max. And the absolute max can happen at an endpoint. So remember that. Put in there, anytime they want absolute max, you gotta check the endpoint. That's why I titled it in the top, check endpoint.
Is that why like the 9.18 was in the answer?
Because that was a min. Wait, no, sorry. That was a max, but it was a local max. So good question. So Gonzalez said that why is 9.18 not the answer? That is a local max. These are rates. So this is my rate. Is this the fastest rate you see on the table? No, this is my fastest rate. Remember, these are rates, hundreds of entries per hour. So it's not the number of entries. So this is when I'm processing them the fastest. Does that make sense? Yeah. This is the max, but that's a local max. The absolute max is at 12.
And to find the rate, that's why you put this T to Y1.
Yes, because my Y1 was P of T, which is my rate. That's what they're asking. See, make sure that the understanding the question is half the battle. It says at what time were the entries being processed most quickly? So they're asking about P of T. Does that make sense? Okay. Hit me with some more. I love this. Keep it up. All right, guys, take care of the flashcards, take care of business, and we're done.